Hello. Today I'm really excited to talk to you about routines. And routines are not something that I have historically gotten um, really joyful about, really excited about, but I am excited because I've learned how to look at them in a different way, and I have some things I really love to share with you in case they serve you as well. So the first thing I want to do is share the more traditional perspective of routines that we have as parents. And I'm going to share the positive discipline, a few things on the positive discipline tool card routines. And there's an example of a bedtime routine chart on there. It could be a morning routine, a mealtime routine, a bedtime routine. These are the kinds of things you think about for younger children, certainly children below the age of, say, 12. It says, help children create routine charts to encourage self-discipline, and that's wonderful. You can create them with your child, brainstorm the tasks that need to be done, even take pictures of your child doing each task, and then the beautiful thing, right? Let the routine chart be the boss. What does your routine chart say that needs to happen next, sweetie? Right, that kind of thing. Um, and a really important point at the bottom of this positive discipline tool card is do not take away from feelings of capability by adding rewards. Okay, I'm not going to go into that today, but I just wanted to highlight it and make sure that we're all on the same page, or at least that you know what page I am on about not adding in rewards. We're really developing the child's own sense of capability with that particular tool. So that's wonderful. Okay, so now that's not why I'm so excited about routines. Why I'm so excited is because we as parents can use routines, or the concept of routines, we don't have to call it routines. We have so many responsibilities as parents, right? We have so many things that we think about on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly, seasonally, whatever it is, that we need to think about. And the more we can create a routine for ourselves that can help some of those things pop up for us automatically, to help them either become a habit so that we just start doing them, like we brush our teeth in the morning. Nobody has to think about that. You just do it, right? So either to help us create the habits, or so that we don't ever really have to think about it in the first place, or even create the habit because it's just going to come up right in our face. And one example of that, something that is now on autopilot for me, there are so many things, but I have, there's so many different kinds of task management and project management software. The app that you use is not important. The system that you create for yourself is not, the technology of it is not so important, as long as there is a system that's sort of foolproof, right? So I have a system where every month it comes up on my to-do list to write in the journals that I'm keeping for each one of my sons. I started journals for them when they were little. And so I write in them every so often. And then my idea is either when they're 18, or if they go to college, after they graduate college, to give them the journal and be like, here you go. And I don't know to what extent they'll actually have fun reading it, but I had fun writing it and just reflecting to them what was going on in their life and how I was feeling and all of that stuff. So the point is to put some things on autopilot for ourselves. There's way too much to overload our conscious minds with. If we can put it on autopilot so that we can relax into it, that's awesome. And I also want to put a plug in here for not only our to-dos, the things that we regard as, oh, gotta do this, oh, gotta do that. Certainly put those on autopilot as much as we can. And also to be open to maybe some other new routines that, they might not be routines for all of our child's childhood. But maybe they'll live on for a couple of years, and maybe we'll engage with them for a couple of years, and then they'll just fall away because our child outgrew them or whatever. But fun things like one thing I can think of that we are doing now is, if you've been listening to me for any length of time, I have 2 teenage sons, and you can say what you want about, boys and teen boys, but they do eat. Generally, they eat. And so even if they don't eat a lot, they typically eat. And so we are now scheduling family meals out, and everybody gets to pick. We're taking turns who gets to pick where we go, which meal it is. We agree on a day that we can all make it with all the schedules that are happening. So fun and autopilot, these are both really good things. And I also want to say, the level of routines and the level of habit creation and the level of systemization is not going, the same level is not going to feel the same way to everybody. Just like the same level of physical exercise isn't going to feel the same way, right? Like some of us need hardcore cardiovascular for 45 to 60 minutes a day, or else we feel like, ugh. And then some of us, that just sounds so crazy. And some of us are just fine with walking a mile a few times a week. And that's all we really, that's all our system really needs to kind of stay regulated and juiced and all good. It's the same way with a level of routinization. And I want to shed some light on that, because a lot of times what I see is people say like, oh my gosh, you have a whole family operating system and a big binder with all these tabs and all these different processes that you use, and I should have that, and oh my gosh. And not necessarily. That might feel really good for somebody, and that might provide that person with a lot of certainty that they really need. And you might not need that level of certainty and of documentation. And in fact, that could feel really heavy for you. Depends on where you are, depends on what feels good. So for me, that level of documentation feels really heavy and really not authentic for me, not really helpful. But what does feel helpful and allowing for me to be in free flow and freedom is creating some structure so that I don't have to worry about that and I don't have to think about it. So there's a lot of room for me to play in here. I don't need this much structure. I need a lot of freedom, but if I don't have to worry about the structure that I play in, like a big sandbox, so I have lots of freedom, but I don't have to worry about building the sandbox. The structure is there. That is what I personally am looking for, and everybody needs their own level of structure and systemization. So just give yourself that grace and listen to what feels good for you. I think that's about all I had to share with you around routines. We talked about the traditional positive discipline routines tool card for kids and their own capabilities. We talked about putting things on autopilot, things that might be dragging us down, things that we would like to create habits around, also being open to some fun things. and the fact that everybody has a different level of systemization that feels good to them. Feel into that for yourself and honor what feels good for you. Okay, until next time, bye for now.